You really? Is this going to help you, or is this just for fun? Take one and only.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, David G here, founder of the Internet Marketing Party, with my very special guest, Adam Lyons. How are you, Adam?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. And actually, we're in Adam's space. In case you're wondering what's up with the new digs, we usually shoot our Internet Marketing Party promotional videos for our speaker on a Skype interview. So Adam's going to share with you why we're here in this pretty nice studio setup in just a moment. But before Adam gets started, I'll just ask you directly. Folks are watching this video right now. They know that you're our next upcoming Internet Marketing Party speaker, and you're going to show everybody how to secure thousands of new customers.
Yeah.
Without using your traditional email marketing, and basically you referred to it as what? How did you say it again?
Think of it like essentially just getting untapped access to just free mailing lists that nobody else has used. And as a caveat, just to sort of like explain it here, I am not your typical internet marketer. I don't understand how most of these things work. I can't build a website. My sales copy sucks. I don't know how to build email lists the traditional method.
And normally I'd be trying to be going, shh, make yourself sound like an expert.
Yeah, I still have no idea how AdWords works, and don't even know how to set up a campaign. I don't know any of those things.
You don't need to.
No, exactly. I don't. The one thing that I know how to do, and I've built my entire business on it, that enables me to buy this house with this studio that we're filming in now, and in fact my other apartment, all the other things that
travel all around the world.
Yeah.
Every time I reach out to this guy, he's in another city and doing really exciting things.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've done all of it by utilizing the press and gaining free traffic from the media, from newspapers, from blogs, from websites, from television, from online television, just all these different resources, and I get them to send me free traffic that I then convert with really bad sales letters because they're warm. These guys, they're tracking me down. They want me. They're looking for me to purchase my products. And that's how I've built my business. And it's something that I've kind of kept under wraps and I've shared with just a few people. And David's been saying to me every single month since I've met him, you should come and talk at the IM party. And I'm like, I don't think I'm qualified to. And he's like, no, people want to know where free traffic is. And so here I am.
So it's interesting because it's kind of counterintuitive. You would think to get traffic on the internet that you would leverage the internet, but what you're going to do is show folks how to do what's most powerful, and that's when you take something that works really well and mix it with a whole other ecosystem and blend them, and it's like mixing chocolate and peanut butter. You get a whole new thing.
I love that. Or hazelnuts and chocolate. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you think about it, if you've got a source of people that are all on the internet and you're fighting for a piece of that pie, you're struggling against other people who are really good at fighting for that same pie. What I do that's a little bit different is I find traffic elsewhere, places where people haven't really tapped into it, and I drag them not to the internet but to my website, and they're coming there not because they're interested in maybe getting something for free or browsing 100 different websites. They're coming there for me. They're looking for me. In fact, I've done this for so long and I've been doing it so well that my name is actually a keyword search term for my industry. It's actually one of the biggest search names. In fact, some of my competitors try and use my name to build their entire business off. Because my name's become so big in the industry, it's become a keyword. I mean, just imagine how cool that is. I can literally use my name as a keyword and generate like thousands of dollars worth of traffic from my own name.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'd like to just share a quick little story that a lot of people don't know. I used to run $1 million a year hypnosis center, and that was very successful primarily because of our marketing channel. And what we did is we ran advertorials in the newspaper. So we'd run an $8,000 full page ad in the local paper. And it was because of what you touched on just a few minutes ago. It was like when people are reading the newspaper, they're inclined to separate the newspaper out into advertisements and articles.
Yeah.
And the articles in their mind is fact. And it's inside that circle of trust.
Completely.
So these advertisements were advertorials, and they were written to look like regular articles. People would call in all the time and they'd say, I read your article in the Statesman. And they were pre-sold by the time they walk in the door. So you're going to show our amazing viewers how to leverage that same principle.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I'm going to take you guys through, and in fact through these promo videos that we're doing, I want to give you guys a bunch of tips that you can take away right now just from watching this video. And for those of you that are going to come down and see me speak at the IM Party in Austin, which I'm incredibly excited for.
That's Thursday, September the 13th at 7 p.m. at Six Lounge.
Perfect. I'm glad you know. Okay, so Thursday, September 13th in Austin in Six Lounge. I'm super excited. We're going to be sharing even more, but I do want to give you guys some stuff beforehand, just so you can start tapping into it and maybe sort of like prepping yourself beforehand, maybe even using some of the tactics. I've actually got a selection of some of my stuff here that I just sort of like brought. I just want to show just how many things we have here. I mean, I literally have just hundreds of articles, and this is literally just a selection of those.
And these are from places like,
I mean, this is like the New York Post.
New York Post, Chicago Tribune. Where's this?
This is the Telegraph in Australia, actually. That's a huge one. And this is like worldwide stuff. So, you know, you got everything. Some of the small ones as well, like The Sexist. That's like a tiny little blog.
I love this headline. His business is picking up. Adam's one of the world's foremost pickup artists.
Yeah.
Coaches, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like my day job, I suppose, my niche. But before that, I spent 7 years working in public relations for one of the largest public relations companies in London. I've worked with Nike, I've worked with Nescafe, I've worked with Yum, I've worked with PepsiCo, and actually I handled a lot of their crisis management stuff that they had to do back in the day, as well as generating millions of views in terms of free traffic. So what I want to take you guys through is a number of different things. The first thing I'm going to talk about is why you need press and the difference between press for prestige and targeted press. As I said, there's a whole bunch of articles here, and obviously the New York Post was a very prestigious piece, and it got me a lot of interest. But believe it or not, that's not where most of my money came from. A lot of my money tends to come from a lot more of the targeted pieces. And I'm going to talk about the difference between those and how actually it can be a lot easier to get targeted pieces, and it can actually generate a lot more money for you. If you think your entire business was based on the Austin Statesman, which is a very small newspaper, but you're paying $8,000 a time to get that piece in there. Imagine if you could get that for free, and then you could also get that for free in all the competing newspapers as well off the back of that. And so if you think how much money you would generate from one $8,000 article, and then imagine you didn't spend the $8,000, that's essentially what we're talking about here.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the next thing we're going to talk about is how to identify your best targeted traffic. So how you can find a place where you can get some really good traffic, and you can sort of like keep reusing that or reuse the same kind of thing, and how to go about identifying that and building that up. And then finally, the last thing, this is what we're going to be doing at the IM Party, is we're going to talk about how to secure those articles, how to really make sure that you actually see your story appear in the press, and that then converts into income. We'll talk about writing press releases and things like that. So I think the first thing is probably to talk about the difference between prestige and targeted traffic. If you think about it, there are millions of places online where people read and write stories. In fact, if you've got an online business, you've probably already got a blog yourself where you're writing stories up, except most of your stories are probably just about your own business. But there are obviously other blogs out there that do take the time to review different products, to review different companies. And then, of course, you've got some like the larger portals, like the big newspapers, the Telegraph, those kind of places, who really are just going to have a whole bunch of people that are going there just to read stories and be entertained. Now, a prestigious piece would be something like the New York Post, or I suppose getting yourself on CNN or some
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal, yeah. Any huge, big publication, Oprah, yeah. Or even the Tim Ferriss blog right now, which has got like the Ferriss effect. Any of those kind of big blogs, you get a lot of prestige, and there's a chance that you can get a lot of traffic. The problem with those kind of places is you can't really identify where your target market is. So the problem is, if we get ourselves on say, the Oprah network, we've got a good idea that we're going to get a lot of females that are going to be watching it. But we don't really know the age range, not exactly. And we can't be sure that there aren't a whole bunch of other random people looking at it. And if your product isn't something that lends itself to their target audience, that's not going to benefit you at all anyway.
Right.
So you can be like, wow, I appeared on Oprah, that was amazing, but none of their people are going to spend any money on my website, so all I get to do is show off that I was on Oprah. Now, why can this be good? It can be good because you can put a little logo on your website that was as seen on Oprah, as seen on TV, and that can actually help with conversions. Like I said, my sales letters are absolutely terrible, but plastered all across my website, I was in this publication, I was on this TV show, I was in this publication. I'm just showing all the different places where I've been, so it generates trust. This guy must be an expert if all these different TV shows are saying, wow, this guy is an expert. One of the coolest things about what I do is I've never really had to prove my skill set about what I do on a daily basis. I don't have people consistently saying, can you really do it? Can you really do it? Because they've made documentaries about me where people were challenging me to see if I could do this. And I did it on the documentary. After that, I just have to show the documentary and be like, hey, look, here's me doing what it was on the documentary. I don't have to do it every single day of my life, reproving my skill set. They've seen it. They've seen the fact that I'm married. They've seen what my wife looks like. And these things get shown over and over again. I don't have to waste my time convincing people I know what I'm talking about. Right. Instead, I can just convince them on why they need a certain skill set or how I can help them. So that's why prestige can be helpful, but it's not necessarily going to be converting into income. What's much better is to find targeted press sites. And the great news is these are so much easier to get into. If you're trying to get on in the Wall Street Journal, say, you're competing with every single other company out there. You're competing with Sony. You're competing with Exxon, Apple. You're competing with huge companies for all of that little space in there. Whereas if you find a nice niche little newspaper, something that's directly related to your business clients, where you can identify where your clients will be, then that source, you can guarantee two things. One, there will be less traffic, but the traffic will be interested in what you have to say and your product. Two, they're going to be struggling to fill those pages. Whereas someone like the Wall Street Journal might have, hundreds of reporters working for them, maybe even thousands if you count all over the world. The small targeted little newspapers are usually either a mom and pop shop that maybe have 3 different people writing for them, or maybe just like 2 or 3 employees. Now, if you think they still have to fill an entire newspaper's worth of content, or an entire blog, or an entire TV station, or whatever it is, but there's less of them working to fill up the exact same amount of space. That means everybody's working harder, and because there are less people purchasing that magazine or that newspaper, they're not making as much money per article that goes out there. So they're working a lot harder for a lot less money. And what they would absolutely love if somebody could turn up with a pre-written story that fit all the criteria that they need in order to publish that in their newspaper, because that is about 4 hours worth of work they no longer have to do. It's something that's been done for them, and they can just plug and play it straight into the newspaper.
Can I stop you right there?
For sure.
Would you be willing to create like a PDF of like a little cheat sheet that only members of the Internet Marketing Party and attendees at the party?
100%. In fact, what I'm going to do is anyone who turns up at that party, I'll have a simple sort of breakdown cheat sheet of what you need, how to identify it, and absolutely everything.
To make sure that when they get it, because if it was just a matter of putting something in a reporter's hands, then everybody would be doing it. But there's probably
a whole bunch of ways
right way
creating
and a wrong way.
Yeah, creating the right kind of press release. And actually, that's what I'm going to be talking about at the IM party. And I'll create a little printout for people to take away or download, I suppose, from the internet.
All right.
Which is, I'm still old school. Cool. Print it out and just hand it out to people at the door.
All right. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do thumb drives.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's actually what I'm going to be talking about at the IM party, is how to create that and how to get them to want to write about your story. And so the key thing is, if you can hand that to them, if you can give them a story that fits everything that they need, it makes a lot more sense than to just take that story and run with it. All you've got to do is make sure that it doesn't necessarily purely benefit you, and instead the goal of it is to benefit them. And if they think, wow, this is the right kind of story, this fits with the theme of our newspaper or our magazine or our publication, it's the kind of thing our readers want to hear about, and there's a byproduct, it also ends up advertising your company or your business and promoting you, then what happens is they get a great story that their readers enjoy reading. Their readers really like your product because they're the right target market for you, and then the readers want to go to your website and they want to buy that product. And so, there are some publications that only have 36,000 readers. But if they are 36,000 readers that are really interested in your product, that is a mailing list of 36,000 people who are ideally targeted for your product, want to go to your website and purchase it. And that is how I built a business that literally has residual income every single month. I don't pay for advertising. I don't go out there. I'm actually resting on articles that some of them are like maybe a year old, and they're still sending me traffic that I didn't pay for. I've had no income going out on that, and I just continually get truly passive income coming in from this. And so in the next video, what I'm going to talk about is how to identify where you might find the right kind of publications for your business, and how you can sort of streamline it and find the kind of places that you can be looking for.
In fact, if you're watching this and there's a place down below, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or on the blog post, down below, enter what niche or vertical you're in, and maybe if we get enough of them, we'll list them out, and you can just we'll do a little bit of research, and you can say, here's 1 or 2 great
That's
places.
absolutely fine. Yeah, do us a favor. Write in the comments below and let us know what your niche is, and sort of ideally you're kind of like your average kind of customer, if you know that. Yeah. And then we can go through some of them and check it out.
Sounds good. And then at the actual party, you're going to be talking about
how to secure that, how to make that happen. So if you think about it, in the next video, what we're going to be talking about is how to identify the right kind of market for you, the right kind of publications, where you should be looking to go to identify them. And then at the party, we'll talk about how to contact them, how to get them to want to start writing about you and accepting your article and basically sending you free traffic. Tree traffic is even better. Tree traffic is a whole other skill
for the Listexics of the world.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So I suppose we'll see you guys in the next video.
See you at the next video. That was great.